Welcome, everybody. Congratulations. We have Bobby Flay.
This is the best thing I've seen all day.
No kidding.
We have NYRA CEO and President Christopher Kay. I guess Mother Nature wanted a fast track before she unleashed her fury today.
Absolutely.
Bobby, can you explain what gave you the foresight to purchase an interest in this horse just a few days ago?
Well, the truth was that I had planned to bring about 15 or 20 people to the Belmont Stakes, which I do every year. And I had a horse named America, a filly, who was going to run in the Ogden Phipps, but I retired her just last month, so I really had nothing to run. So I wanted to make sure my guest had a very enjoyable experience, so I wanted to purchase a horse to run, not necessarily in the Belmont Stakes, and there was a couple other horses that we were looking at. And then Mr. Walden next to me told us that we could get involved with Creator. And it's not really the thing that I usually do, because I usually buy fillies. But having a chance to be involved with a horse like that, with a farm like that, and the people that are involved in it, it was a no-brainer for me. And I shouldn't even be sitting here. I mean, really. The only thing I did was, I certainly was cheering the loudest in the entire racetrack, and maybe I gave him that last little head bob, but that's about it.
Okay. We also have Elliot Walden, the president of Windstar Farm, and I'm sorry, I don't
Kenny
know.
Trout, the guy who makes all the difference.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to wait 1 second. Everybody's coming in.
There we go.
Steve Asmussen's on his way in. Everybody needs a towel. This is sort of like being soaked with a Gatorade bucket after the game, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who's that on the outside? Was that Randy?
Who ran third?
Okay.
Randy.
A lot of gray.
Who ran
All right,
third?
so from my left to the right,
Whole
we
lot of
have
gray.
Steve Asmussen. I'm sorry,
Kenny Trout.
Kenny Trout with Windstar, Elliot Walden, president of Windstar, and Bobby Flay, well-known, renowned chef and horse owner, breeder, and a recent investor and creator. So congratulations all. Steve, I guess we'll start with you. This has been an incredible year so far. You've been elected to the Hall of Fame this summer. Over 7,300 wins, second all-time. Where would you rank this among those wins?
It's the best feeling right now. The great thing about racing, is you have a bad day, bad week, bad month. They don't put you behind the gates. They line you up even and give you a chance to prove yourself. And just obviously want to thank for the opportunity with a horse like him that can prove he's good enough to win the Belmont Stakes.
Okay, just take some of the sting out of Curlin getting beat in 2007.
Curlin didn't ever do anything but make us happy, but being a victor of the Belmont Stakes will look good on that plaque.
Okay, what did you think of the ride that Irad put up?
I thought Irad gave him a perfect trip. I thought he saved yards and won by inches. He made the difference.
Yeah, it looked like him and the one horse were going for a hole there in mid-stretch when Gettysburg was tiring, and he just kind of beat him to it.
Well, he saved a lot of ground going into the first turn. Thought Gettysburg did his job. Great call by Elliott there. 48 and 4 for a half. Allowed Creator to show who he is. I thought quite a bit of traffic around the quarter pole. Irad was beautifully patient. Went through a lot of traffic, very smooth. Very proud of Creator. He stayed focused through the traffic and did all he could to get up and win a great race.
And he was one of 5 horses that ran in the Derby and then took the 5 weeks. Do you think that benefited him in terms of freshness?
I think that today was perfect for us by inches, and that's how you have to be on race day.
Okay. Questions? Tim? Yeah.
This is for Steve. Steve, in the Derby, you said that Creator really didn't get a chance to run. How anxious were you
Okay.
to be able to get him to be able to run in a race like this?
Well, going up to the Derby, I thought that he had a wonderful chance. Just the progress the horse had made through the spring, the confidence level he was at. You know, we were extremely confident Derby week, and I thought, you know, traffic that day obviously didn't allow him to show it. I thought the thing, you know, Elliott and came and observed him following the race. We watched him monitor his weight and thought that he bounced back to where he'd give us another chance to prove it. And, you know, we're very fortunate to be in this position because, you know, there's just a couple chances to prove you're a classic winner.
Another question?
For Elliot, please, could you tell us what led you to name this horse Creator?
Faith in God. You know, we are a Christian farm, and the Trouts are Christians, and faith is very important to them, and their relationship with Christ is very important to them. And so we look for opportunities to name horses after you know, religious themes at times. We've named a horse New Testament. We've named a horse Benediction, and we like this horse an awful lot as a 2-year-old, and I don't know. God might have given me a sign. I don't know.
Elliot, you talk about faith in God, but what gave you faith in Steve Asmussen to give him a horse like this for the first time?
Well, Steve's you know, I don't think it's any secret that Steve is a Hall of Fame trainer. I know he's getting in this year, but like when you're won 7,300 races, and you know, we try to align ourselves with trainers that are Hall of Fame trainers, and so Steve's done extremely well with some tappets. They can be a little difficult. I know Steve loves me saying this because he wants to train every tappet in the world. So,
Thank you, Tappet.
But you know, he did extremely well with Untappable, and this horse was a little fiery as a 2-year-old, and I felt like that he would just not. We sent a lot of our horses to Todd Pletcher and Belmont, and I just felt like Saratoga and the pressure that 2-year-olds are under there, this horse wouldn't really thrive in that environment. Gave him to Steve, gave him the opportunity to take him to Saratoga if he wanted. He said, no, let's leave him out of the Saratoga fray, and he just trained him beautifully as a 2-year-old to kind of cultivate what you saw today, and that's a confident horse that went through horses. Every race has improved upon himself, except for the Derby where he got stopped, and I'm really excited about his future. Today just validated his whole career to this point. You know, if he didn't win today, you think, well, maybe the Arkansas Derby was just a fluke. But the fact that he won today validates everything that he's done, and he's going to be a horse that's going to be a lot of fun. Can I buy that % back, Bobby?
Sure.
Kenny, Elliot, can you reflect on the decision earlier in the week to run Gettysburg? It looks like that was, you know, the tactical move that probably won this race for you.
Well, we talked about it, and so we needed a fast pace up there as much as we could get, and Gettysburg did a great job, and then Creator could run his race, along with a lot of other horses in that race that could run their race too, and then Creator was just ready, and he fired big.
When they were coming to the wire, did you have flashbacks 2 years ago to Commissioner?
I did. I did.
Only that was in reverse. He was on the lead and got caught, and this time you're trying to get up.
Yeah, I still haven't got over that loss.
We also, you know, Steve Davison's is a really good friend. Steve Davison's a really good friend with Twin Creeks. We own Constitution with him, so it's tough to win beating him an inch like that. Destin, we broke him at the farm, so we have ties to him, and it was just nice. And Steve was the first guy to come up and congratulate us, so it was real nice.
Did you talk to Todd Pletcher after the race at all?
I haven't. I haven't yet.
Todd was, of course, the trainer of Commissioner.
Yes.
So. Okay. Question?
Well, this is for Steve and Elliot, and if you guys want to jump in, you can too. When Creator was coming, did you think he was going to get there? And when they hit the wire, did you think you had won?
Well, Loved where he dropped him over in the first turn. Just felt very good about his chances. Knew that he had a chance to run his race. Just focusing on him. You know, when he got a little daylight at the head of the stretch, here he came. You know, just rooting on him. When they got to the wire, you thought he won. You just were waiting for him to put up the number to turn loose.
I thought he was going to win at the 8th pole easier than he did. I think Destin showed a courageous effort to hang in because, you know, he had momentum. He was coming. He was, you think back to the Arkansas Derby, and he went whoosh like that, and he couldn't get by Destin. I don't know how many lengths. It was 2 or 3 lengths back to the 3rd horse. But both horses ran a winning race, and I did have flashbacks to Commissioner about 4 jumps before the wire.
It was where we were sitting was right on the finish line, and we could see when he won by, we won. So we all headed out very quickly to get down there.
Yeah, and Irod, he definitely knew because he was pumping his fist right as they went under the wire like 4 or 5 times. So
Yeah.
I was hoping it was Victory Gallop and not Commissioner.
Tom, you got a question?
Steve, in your mind, is Irad the difference today?
It definitely made the difference. Just a beautiful move going to the first turn. I mean, there was a spot there where he was almost hung about 4 wide over one horse, and he just made the exact right decision there. I thought his patience from the 3/8 pole to the quarter pole without, just a lot of traffic, didn't get there too soon, didn't, get the horse stopped, and just was money when a little daylight showed itself. I mean, like I said, I thought he told him in the winner's circle, I thought he saved yards and won by inches. He made the difference.
Frankie, you got a question?
Kenny, can you talk about how big it is for WinStar to have a classic winning son of Tappet? And Bobby, can you talk about if you have some mares that might be a good fit for a classic winning son of Tappet?
Yeah, Tappett's big, and this was a very, very exciting. Elliott, we talked about it quite a bit, about how special this horse could be. And it was very exciting. And he felt, Elliott felt very strong. We need to win a minimum of 2 Grade 1, and he could really fit in. And this was big, big for us and everything. I do want to say something about the name Creator. When I was told the horse, they sent out a little bulletin and said, "What the horse's name?" I knew, as soon as I saw that name and that Elliott had named that horse, I knew he thought that by far that was the best horse we've had in a long, long time to give us a chance to be something special. So he's been very exciting for all of us, just in that point right there, and he's been very special.
Bobby, when in buying into this horse, in the back of your mind, were you thinking this could be good for some of my mares?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, his pedigree is amazing, and it's got a really, actually, very interesting pedigree because the female side is a Peruvian champion, which you don't see very often, and especially in this country. So the fact that these guys had faith in that pedigree and bought the horse as a yearling, and of course Tappet has proven to be an amazing stallion. You know, I like to breed. I have a lot of really nice mares, and so I think there's going to be some dates in the future.
I do want to say we're very excited for Bobby being a partner with us on this, and it's really exciting and everything. So, thank you.
My pleasure.
Elliot, can you speak about what you liked about him when you bought him as a young horse, and can you also speak to the strategy this week with Gettysburg? And it looks like it went according to the textbook here. So if you could comment on those 2 things.
Usually it doesn't, but it did go to textbook today. This was a colt that David Hanley, who's our general manager, really loved as a yearling. He's a great judge of a horse. We work together as a team when we pick out horses, and this was David's favorite horse of the sale, and so. You know, he was a horse that we had seen on the farm that we came back at the sale, and we saw him about 3 weeks before the sale on the farm at Gainesway, and came back and saw him and just really liked his balance, his athleticism. He's just got a beautiful walks like a cat, very efficient in his movement, and I did like the Peruvian side of things because I think Tappet, as brilliant as he is, 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles is something that, before Tunnelist especially, he wasn't known for. And I thought that she was a second in a Grade 1 at a mile and a quarter, the Santa Margarita, and the Apple Blossom, I think she was third. Her name is Marina. But her father is privately held, so it goes back to a great Phipps family and private account. So, he does have some American influences in the bottom side of his pedigree down in there. So it was attractive to us as a yearling. He was very attractive to us as a yearling.
And I take it you were happy with how the textbook played out
Well,
during the course of the race?
It did. It was not an easy decision because, there were two trainers involved as well. And my hat's off to Todd. Todd's won a lot of big races for us. I spoke to Todd about this about a week ago. I felt like that the right thing to do was to realign the camps because Todd had the second and third choice in the race. And I just felt like that it would be easier on him to answer to his other owners. It'd be easier on us if we realigned the camp for this race. I assured him that he would get Gettysburg back after the race, and he likes Gettysburg an awful lot. And Gettysburg ran pretty credible. I think he hung in there for 5th or 6th. But, Todd was great to work with. It's hard when you have owners that, Steve and Todd both have a lot of horses, and sometimes they have to run separate entries in the race for different owners, and that's hard, But I've always had a feeling that that's worked for me, and that is that if you do what's right for the horse, you're going to do what's right for the owner. And so if Todd had 2 horses in the race that were different owners, and he picked the spot because it was the right thing to do for the horse, then the owners would come along, and eventually the decision would be right for the horse. So that was really what I stuck to today. It was right for Creator. I did worry about how Todd would receive it. Todd received it with the class that he has. He understood. We have a great relationship, so there's nothing about the decision that had anything to do with just the game plan that was set up, and it did work today.
He is getting the horse back.
Yes.
Train him well.
Questions?
Elliot, is it more fun to win as an owner or a trainer?
Well, it's great to win at any time. I mean, the Trout family has been extremely good to my family, and good for racing. Kenny and Lisa have come into this, and we were here with Drosselmeyer in 2010 with Lisa sitting up here, and Kenny at a basketball game, and to win these kind of races, however you win them, is special. So I can't really differentiate between the two, and it's just great to share this with the Trout family. They have been special to my family, and they've treated me like family. They have everything that God could give a person, and they treat you like normal people, and that's really special.
Claire, you got a question?
Anyone can answer this. Plans for the horse? Does he stay here in New York and go up to Saratoga? And next target for him?
You guys want
Well,
to talk it over?
Yeah, I think the focus was today. I mean, this was his chance to win a classic. I think we really need to, respect his effort from today, observe the horse, and do what's best for him.
This is Steve Asmussen.
I think that we felt that, we had a little frustration after the Derby. Hats off to the winners all the time. Nothing but congratulations. But I thought today, the focus was for him to be on this stage to prove how good he was. With him doing that, we'll definitely observe how much it took out of him and what's best for him for the second half of the year. With Bobby just in on the horse, well aware of the focus being the Belmont today, and we will do what's right for him from here on out.
Yeah, he'll get a little break. Might get a break at WinStar and then back to Steve. So that's what we had talked about before the race. I don't know if anything changed with it, but I think the great thing is this horse is, to me, like I said, he validated his form up to this point, and I think the sky's the limit with this horse going forward. It's special to win 2 Grade 1s with a horse. It's a little easier to win 1, but when a horse wins 2, they've got to be a racehorse, and so. That's what's exciting for me, and not only this year, but maybe next year. I mean, there's a lot of big purses around, and we might have to get Bobby to go try to find a friend that has one of those spots in the Gulfstream race. But it's just fun, and it's great. So he'll get a little break, and then we'll
Any
come.
questions? Okay. Any questions?
Steve, what kind of week did Creator have coming into today?
Question is, what
Well,
kind
we
of week
had
did
trained him
Creator
at
have?
Churchill off of the Derby. Observed him in familiar surroundings. Elliot came out and watched him go a few times. We watched the Breeze about 12 days from before this. Kind of validated his readiness. We were happy with his energy level, how he was traveling, his weight. And then we, at that point, Elliot wanted to get IRAD for him. We secured IRAD for the mount and made arrangements for him to get here. Let him have a little look-see of the place, but we felt that he came here ready.
Okay. Anybody else?
We'll say one other thing about that. Steve told me a week after the Derby that he didn't want to come here unless he felt like he could win. And so he watched one work, and it was just okay, a half in 51. And then we, like Steve said, we watched the second work together. But, hats off to Steve for really not just wanting to participate. He wanted to come with a chance to win, and that's why he's a Hall of Fame trainer.
Yeah, with Elliot saying that, the confidence we had going into the Derby, we wanted to be sure we felt that good again, not just out of frustration. And that was just to hold off that feeling. So we waited to make sure that he was the same horse and that he, just very proud of the whole team that he proved who he is today.
Okay, and with that, congratulations, Steve, Kenny, Elliot, Bobby.
Thank you.
Thank you.